Hi, and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I'm so glad you joined me in the treehouse today. Today, I just wanted to kind of show you what I've been working on. I'm working on making 60 of these, and it's kind of a labor of love, but you might be interested to know how I created it all. I got to use my very favorite product, which is the blending alcohol markers, the Stampin'Blends, and I'll show you that briefly, and I'll also show you how I used the blending brushes to get the background. And this is the Hello Chuck set, which is one that I wasn't really excited about, but it is going to work really, really well for this retreat that we're about to have. It's a church retreat, and the mascot per se is a rooster. So that was just going to be really fun to have this at everyone's breakfast plate with Rise and Shine. So let's just go over a few of these things to see so that you could do something similar. Again, mostly focusing on the coloring aspect, which is something that I just really, really love. So I started out with white, the basic white, and I did it at 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Reason being is you could get 8 of these out of a sheet of 8 1/2 by 11. And I needed to get as many as I could out of there. So, and I have the dies that go with this. There's not a sunshine stamp, but there is a die, but it's rather large. So I just created my own background and just utilized the stamp for the rooster and for the fence, and also the dies that coordinate with that. These are also the stamp set, the Rise and Shine, and I just used Versamark and white embossing powder and heat set it, and then it's actually one whole stamp, and then I just cut it. Just kind of makes it more cartoony looking, which is what I feel like he is. So let's see how we did this. So again, that's the card base. When we finish, it will look something like that. And I'm going to show you, I'll tell you what, first let me just show you about one of my favorite things, and that would be get these out of the way, the blending and the Stampin'Blends. And it will go through things. So I'm going to get a sheet out here. And I'm just going to use for the fence, and I'm going to show you the difference. I'm using light pecan pie, and I'm using the dark pecan pie and the Stampin'Blends. And if you have any of these, they come in a set, and I think it's $9, $10 or something US for the set. And the set, it includes the light and the dark, and each one has the finer tip like this, and then the brush tip is on the other end like this. And you will want to be sure when you cap it that you really make it click close, because it's alcohol markers and they will dry out if you don't close them completely. But we've got the little line indicating the thinner tip, and then the big line indicating the thicker or the brush tip. Another thing to note about these guys is you don't have to press very hard. And let me show you on the fence. Okay, I'm gonna start with the brush tip, and I'm gonna color it all with the light pecan pie first. So, and it is a very, very light touch. You just barely, if you don't do a light touch, this gets all smushed. I should have brought one in here to show you. So, I mean, you are just barely doing it, and you're moving fairly quickly. This was stamped with the Memento, the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, which is perfect for these. You don't want to use, you can't really use one of the regular colors, the water-based ones, or because it could, what I'm trying to say, it could smear. So, and you also don't want to spend a lot of time over the black because it still could smear. So, and I'm going across like this, and I'm even running into the other one, but it's not going to matter because they blend so beautifully. So I'm just going to go through it, and usually when I'm coloring, I like to go on the outside and then work inside. So I start with the outline, and then I go on the inside. And it just takes, I'm just doing like 1 or 2 strokes down. So that's all it takes. So not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to do another one, same way, and I'm just going to show you the difference when you blend. And this will be just a very basic. So you also don't, because this is kind of a cartoony one, you don't have to worry about as much staying in the lines or like on this part, making it all even. Plus the die will cut it out. Actually, here's one that's done, and I'll show you. So if you can see what I mean. So I'm just kind of leaving it a little, it's not even, I guess, uneven. And that's fine. Okay. I did not put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right, I'm going to show you, let me show you the difference. I'm going to leave this one plain, and now same stamp set. Same stamp exactly, and then I'm going to use the dark one of the dark pecan pie, and I'm going to make a line on the top and the bottom because these to me are recessed, and so you're going to have a shadow. And then I'm going to do, the sun is over here on my picture that I'm doing, so I'm just going to follow just the left hand side and go like that. And that's all I'm doing there. And you can see the difference between the two. If I really wanted to, I could bump it up another notch and blend even more. And I'll do that with just maybe one of the posts to show you. But it's small and it doesn't have to be, it's cartoonish, and so you don't have to be super detailed. Another thing I think I like when I'm doing blending, actually, you know what, I'm going to go back. I forgot this. I'm just going to make little dots right here. I'm not going to go crazy, not even a whole line, but I'm going to put little dots on either side. I forgot that one. Okay, and so now I'm going to go do just what I did a minute ago. I'll do the dots and the lines and the dots, and I'll go over here and the same thing on just these two posts. Okay, and now I'm going to go back with the lighter color, and I'm using the other tip, and we can make it even blend better. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean. So we can just kind of go in and pull out from there. So and if you give it a minute to dry too, but these are just great because you don't see the lines or anything. So anyway, you can kind of see the difference. You see the details. I'll see if I can bring it up to the camera, and you can see the difference in the one that's plain, the one that's used just the dark, kind of just outlining, and then this one that's using the dark but also blending it some too. So those are the different looks that you can get. And there's nothing wrong with this one, but this one certainly has a lot more depth to it. So that's really cool. So anyway, that's the blending. And I did that with the rooster as well. And I've got one here. He actually has a little bit of a red eye. He must have taken the red eye flight or something. Yeah, I actually got a little bit of red in there. But anyway, I'm coloring him and using I think it was Real Red, and I got two blues, a dark and a light of the Azure Afternoon, and then there's also some purple in his tail. There's purple under his eye and over here, just a little bit, and using a couple of yellows and some of the brown on here. So, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a coloring series, if anybody wanted to know more about my coloring style. All right, so now we're going to see if we can turn this plain white piece of paper into one like this by using the blending brushes. All right, so the first thing I did was I took the super sticky notes, okay, and they're super sticky because they're sticky all over, not just on one end. And so I just adhered it, and it's not going to matter exactly, but it's adhered there. And this is, I just drew it and just drew my little hills, and then I cut it so this part is covering up the sky so we don't make the sky green, and I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and a blending brush, and we're going to work on the hills. So And for all of these, it's a really good idea. Number one, you hold the head, because this is a very narrow neck, and you can put your finger here, you can hold the head, whatever works the best. And you also want to be sure to start off the paper, because otherwise it's going to blob. So you don't want blob. It works a little bit all right for the grass, but not always. So we're just going to go in a circular motion and make some lovely grass, and that's all we need to do for the Granny Apple Green. Okay, close that one up, and we're going to move to the Garden Green. And my Garden Green is not very juicy, so I'm not going to have to worry about going off. The darker the color, the more you have to go off typically, but mine's getting to the point where it needs to be re-inked, so I'm going to go off a little bit, not a lot. And I'm just going to go like this and around here on the top of the hill. I'll go a little bit more on this side, and maybe just a little bit down like that. And that is all you got to do to make the grass. Right, and then I'm going to move this up, and we'll see what we have underneath. And that's what we have underneath. Kind of cool. All right, and now let's go to the sky. And it's the opposite, so I have another one. Did I do that right? I did not. Yes, I did. I did that right. So you got the opposite. So you're going to cover up your hills with the super sticky note. And one other thing to note is that you want a little bit to show, otherwise you'll end up with a white line in between. Okay, and so we've got that. Push that down, and now we're going to move to the Balmy Blue. And I need some little clouds, and that just helped. And I tell you what I did. This was a mask that came in a paper pumpkin a couple of years ago, and what I did was I just put it down on one of the super stickies, and I believe it was this cloud and this cloud. And when they're on the super stickies, then you can then I just cut them out, and now we can just set them on here as a mask, and then their clouds will end up being white. Got them a little bit crooked. All right, and they look good, fun, and kind of cartoonish. All right, I'm going to get the blending brush. Oh, by the way, if you notice, there are two different sizes. You got the bigger size and the smaller size. Use that one for the Granny Apple, and this one for the Garden Green. They do wash out. They'll have a little bit of residual color left in them, but you can wash them in the kitchen sink or whatever with regular water, and you can use a little bit of like Dawn dishwashing detergent, dishwashing or whatever. Yep. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Balmy Blue, and I'm going to bring it to me just a little bit more, and again, I want to be sure to kind of go off a little bit, and I'm just going to go around I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to go around the clouds, mostly on top, but just enough on the bottom so that you do get an outline. And so that you don't want it too dark, because then it'll look like a storm, and we know it's not storming because the clouds are small and the sun's coming up. All right, so that is that, and I'm gonna I punched out a circle with a circle punch. I think it was the 1 3/4 maybe. So I can't remember if that's the one that has returned or not. Now I'm going for a sponge dauber, and I'm going to use the yellow Daffodil Delight. And so I've got this covered up, and then I punched, like I said, that out, and that is my sun. And I'm using the sponge dauber, and get it to whatever strength you would like. And I did add a little bit of the one of the darker colors, and I didn't notice that it made a whole lot of difference, so you can just go back and make it a little bit darker towards the center if you want. It's pretty small. All right, let's take everything off and reveal what we've got underneath. So doesn't that look fun? Yes. And there's I got a piece of the sticky note is under there, where it got cut. Let's see if I can brush it off. Come on, come on. There we go. So there, it looks pretty much the same. I think I made my sky a little darker here. Maybe my sun's up a little higher. But anyway, that is that. And so what I'm gonna do, let's go ahead and we can put them together. Man, it looks even bigger. That's interesting. Okay, lighter colors makes it look bigger. All right, I was gonna put, we can put this, I'll show you. I just stuck him up there and the fence. Let me see if I've got my fence. Here's my fence. And I put dimensionals. I just put 2 of the regular dimensionals on the fence right there. Pulled off the backs and set the fence on there right about there. And then we can put our poor little rooster that has took the red eye home. All right. And then I used 3 of the big ones, and I also used 3 of the little ones. I put 1 up at the top, 1 at his tail, and 1 on his wing, his front wing. Okay, and flip those backs off, stick him on. And another thing I did was, because there's the white here, I kind of tucked it under to where it was really looks more like his foot is on top of the fence, like that. And set him down, and there you have it. The only difference now is in this and the regular one is I added just with the marker, I just added some grass. There's stamps you could probably use as well, and then I put the Rise and Shine on there. So that is the process to all of that. So I hope that you might have learned something, and if you're interested in one of the coloring classes that I'm going to start, I'd love for you to join. I'd love for you to watch more coloring techniques, and if that's something that you're interested in, you can certainly leave a comment in this video, or you can also go over to my blog and leave a comment, or on any of my social media channels. It's Creative Treehouse is what you need to look for, and the blog is creativetreehouse.blog. So I'd love to have you as one of the pupils, I guess, in the coloring class. And I would also love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do various card and paper projects, and I'd love to have you subscribe so that you can see when a new one comes out. And I guess that's about it. So thanks for watching. I hope, again, that you learned something, and I'll see you next time in the treehouse. All right, bye-bye.